All right, and welcome to this week's edition of On My Back Porch, things I need to talk about, cars. Cheers. Let's talk about something that most people I would think get, but I guess they don't. So let's talk about ownership. How many owners has your car had? Now, in a Honda or Chevy or I don't know, it may not matter that much. Maybe it does, don't know. But let's talk about like a car I bought recently. A McLaren MP 412C WXYZ, the one with all the numbers after it. Um, Car had one owner. Now, the big deal on that is, and the reason that I think that car's value is worth 20% more, 20% high, let's call it 15% more than one with 8 owners, is the guy that bought that car new paid $240,000 for it, and in most people's minds probably maintained it with the fact that the car was worth $230,000. Now, usually I'm scared of these cars. They're like the plague sometimes because when you get a bad one, it is real bad. So when you look at them and I see one that has 8 owners, I go, okay, this guy probably bought this car for 80,000, got his first big McLaren smack in the face for $9,000, and said, bye, I'm going back to my Viper, I'm going back to my Porsche, I'm going back someplace else. Like, this is just ridiculous. And it is. But when you bought it new and you paid $240,000 for it, and you had it for 9 years, $8,000 or $9,000 doesn't sound that bad. And that's the thing. He's had it since it was new, enjoyed all those years with it, so you would expect, has to invest a little bit in it. So when it comes to cars and when it comes to how I appraise cars, ownership comes up a lot, and it's kind of important. I'm going to say kind of important. It's really important, especially if you want the most out of your car. If you're looking at me and going, Arthur, you're so light on what you appraise my car at. I mean, definitely not light, but I go, listen, your car's had 13 owners and it's 5 years old. Now, it can work the other way too. Listen, I get it. Like Ferraris. Ferraris get flipped so many times when they're new because of the potential profit that's out there. Somebody gets like when the F8s came out, the first guy to have an F8 is going to sell it. Why? Because he's going to get $180,000, $190,000 over window for it. So you're going to see 2 owners on a brand new car sometimes. That doesn't really hurt as much as when you're looking at like a 2010 458, and you go, man, this car's had 1 owner, or this car's had 2 owners since 2010. It's probably going to be really nice. I'd say 98% of the time it's going to be really nice. Wine pause. But it just makes sense that it would be nice. So again, when you're looking at how I value things, and you're going to yell at me, or if you're wondering how things can add value to cars, especially exotic cars, that is one big thing that I use when I do value these. Numbers of owners do matter just as much as service history matters. Now, somebody may go, Arthur, a car's got 5 owners, but it's got every single service history under the blue moon. Okay, I mean, that matters. That can kind of, one can outweigh the other, or it's got 1 owner, but it's got no service records. Well, okay, one can outweigh the other. So today's lesson would be numbers of owners matter. So if you're out purchasing an exotic or sports car right now, ask them how many owners it's had, and make sure they're real owners. Sometimes certain states, if you move from Arizona to Florida, they're going to count that as an owner, or if you bought it in your company's name and put it in your personal name, they're going to count that as an owner. So it's not always what Carfax says, because we all know Carfax is flawed. But ownership matters. So if you're selling me something, don't get mad at me. If you're going to buy something, you're welcome. And until the next episode, we'll see you later. Bye.